Hey now, we're back. It's Brace for Impact, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, JD by God Oliva, and I am Mike Gilbert. How's everybody doing today? We
Good.
we have a very special guest on the line. We have Impact Wrestling superstar who is going to be appearing in the upcoming Slammiversary pay-per-view. He's going to be taking on Chris Sabin in one of the top featured matches. Moose, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We're doing great, man. My name is Mike, and I'm here with my co-host JD. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it.
What's up, JD?
What's up, Moose? Thanks for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
No, we're real excited about this. Our listeners will know that we're big Moose fans. We're a Moose supporting podcast here. So this is a huge deal for us. So really, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know we only got at you for a limited time. So I want to go ahead and just get this one out of the way. It kind of broke here recently, and I know you talked about it earlier, so I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I guess it's been confirmed that you had re-signed with Impact for 2 more years, and I'm sure there were a lot of offers from a lot of other companies. If they were smart, they would have made you offers anyway. What is it about the atmosphere in Impact Wrestling that keeps you coming back?
First of all, that was a question. I have gotten that question so many times today, and I don't know where it broke from because it didn't come from me, and so I don't know what anybody's talking about. I'm in the process of just living life and being happy and um finishing my time with Impact Wrestling and seeing what comes up next. I hope Ross didn't tell you that because then Ross will be lying to you.
No, that definitely didn't come from Ross. It was somebody said that you're on their podcast and said it. I don't know the name of the podcast, but I think Fightful and 411 Wrestling had posted it, so it seemed like they have a transcript from. So hey, not true. Then we'll go ahead and pump the brakes on Moose being re-signed there. So I guess I guess that's breaking news. Not yet.
Let's talk about so many things to talk about in the wrestling world. Let's not talk about contracts. That's boring.
Yeah.
Let's talk about me kicking Chris Sabin's ass at Slammiversary. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What can we expect for your match for Chris Sabin? Like, this is kind of a big statement match for you in front of what's going to be a big audience. What are you thinking going in?
You could put 5 people in that studio, and that would be a big audience for us. We've been wrestling a year in front of no one. Man, I'm more excited, honestly. And I'm sure 90% of our fans will say that. I mean, of our roster will say this. We're more excited about wrestling in front of a crowd than we are wrestling at Slammiversary. You could understand this, like not having a crowd for over a year. Think about how horrible that was, and it's one of those things that, as much as the fans are sometimes annoying, that really shows you how much they mean and how much they do for us. Because without them there, it was like, oh my God, like we have to wrestle a match, like God. But now that they're back, it's like, oh yes, I can't wait to go wrestle a match in front of these fans. So for all the fans over the years I've called annoying and I dislike you and I hate your guts, I was just joking because I love you and I miss you, and I can't wait for you guys to be back at Slammiversary.
Talked a little. Go ahead, Mike. You got it.
No, JD, finish, please.
Okay, we talked a little bit about. You talked about wrestling in front of nobody for the last year. You got a little bit of a change of scenery when you wrestled Kenny Omega at Daly's place. What was the experience like of kind of getting out of Nashville, doing something a little different, and wrestling Kenny Omega in that environment?
It was definitely different. I was actually excited to experience that because it would be my first time wrestling technically for AEW or wrestling at an AEW event, or if that's what you want to call it. So it was definitely a different atmosphere. Now the fans, it was kind of different because the fans wasn't real. They weren't like real fans. They were like wrestlers who drove down to get an opportunity, and it was like, oh, go sit in the crowd to watch this wrestling match. So you really don't know how much into it they are, or if they just being into it because they're told to be into it. But it definitely helped. Whatever they was doing out there definitely helped. That atmosphere was definitely better than, like I said, wrestling in front of no one, wrestling in a closet. That's what I call it. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to the 17th, the 18th, and 19th because you're gonna get that genuine fan feeling, and you know the fans from this era, if they hate you, they're gonna let you know they hate you with some of the shit that they say. And they love you, you're definitely gonna know they love you because they're gonna chant your name all night. So, and that's very genuine, you know. So I'm really looking forward to that more than anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can tell you firsthand that I know a lot of the fans that are going to be there. They sent me messages. They are super pumped to be back in Impact Wrestling, to be able to cheer and to boo whoever they want. And speaking of Slammiversary, what are you expecting out of the main event between Kenny Omega and Sami Callihan? I assume that you want to get that Kenny Omega match back, right?
Obviously, honestly, I don't. That's the thing. I don't have any issues with Kenny Omega. Like, I don't have any issues with Sami Callihan. I just want the Impact World Title, and obviously, I want my title back, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So, what do I think is going to happen? Both wrestlers are world class wrestlers. Sami is very unpredictable. Um, and Sami is 100% right when he says that, like, you could game plan for Moose. Um, I'm very big. I wrestle all styles, but one thing Sami has that nobody in our roster has is very unpredictable. Very unpredictable. Like, he's one of those guys that could literally hurt you by accident. Not mean to hurt you, but and just hurt you. And he's proven that. He's done that to so many people in the past with Brian Cage and with Eddie Edwards when he damn well almost broke Eddie's face. And some people say it was on purpose. Some people say it was by accident. But you can't plan for that. Like, you cannot plan for something going wrong and you break your face. you know. Now, the one thing that Kenny is great at, and honestly, they say he's the best wrestler in the world, and I mean, I heavily disagree. I think he's a very great wrestler. But to say he's the best in the world, I don't know. I think he's definitely up there, but I wouldn't say he's the best. But I would say the best thing he has in his toolbox is at any given moment in that match, he can make it a handicap match. He can make it a 3 versus 1. He can make it a 4 versus 1. He can make it a 5 versus 1 because he has so many people in his pocket that he kind of controls like a doll, you know? So, in my humble and honest opinion, I'm a guy who lost because of the same thing I just told you Kenny is great at doing, is turning a match into a handicap match and having the Bucks involved. And if I couldn't beat that situation like that, and obviously I wasn't prepared for it, if I ever wrestle him again, I know that that's something I have to prepare for. But if I couldn't handle those odds, I don't think Sami can either. And that's nothing against Sam. I still think Sami is a great competitor and great wrestler. Same with Kenny. I think they're both great wrestlers, but I think Kenny has the edge on this one.
So if you have your chance to take back the Impact TNA / World Heavyweight Championship, where do you see this company under Moose going? Like, how can you help push this brand forward?
Oh, I could definitely, so many ways. The first thing, I mean, who else on the roster is a two-sport athlete? No one. Who else on the roster has played for the National Football League? No one. Like, who in national who in there's only been, like, I want to say 2, maybe 3 NFL players who've actually been a world champion in wrestling. So, and the only one honestly I could think of is Ron Simmons. I can't think of anybody else. Oh, Bill Goldberg. So yeah, 2. So that's, I mean, just those 3 things right there. Like,
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think that you as a world champion would look really good. Now, you brought up that you're a two sport athlete, Have you ever thought about adding a third sport? I've seen some online chatter about about you had talked about maybe that you could beat Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. I don't know how true that is, but
Oh,
is boxing something that you've been interested in? Because the way the boxing's going right now, are they're doing fights kind of like that. You know, with you got the Paul brothers out there, they're boxing. You have UFC guys getting into boxing and things like that. Is that something that you've ever been interested in?
first of all, yeah, definitely. I'm definitely very. I thought I had actually thought about doing MMA before.
Oh,
I'm really good friends with Frank Trigg, and Frank Trigg was actually who introduced me to Scott Demore 7 years ago, maybe. Yeah, and me and Frank know each other because we trained, or he was training me when I was with the Falcons because it was just something I was very interested in. It was something I still want to do at some point. I don't want to make it a job, but I definitely want to have one or two fights at some point. You know what I'm saying?
hmm.
But like the conversation with Floyd Mayweather was, I said in a street fight, I would kill Floyd Mayweather, not a boxing ring. He would kick my ass in a boxing ring. But if we were just out in the bar grabbing drinks and Floyd Mayweather stepped on my shoes and we got in the scuffle, I would kill him.
Hmm.
Like I would manhandle him. That's what the argument was. And a lot of people was like, "Oh no, he's a boxer. He's a world champion." I was like, "Yeah, he's 150 pounds. Like I'm 300 pounds. Like there's a reason why he has security guards walking around with him. Like."
So, Moose, as a professional in the locker room, we've seen a lot of change over the last year with Impact kind of doing some work with both AEW and New Japan. How is that? What is your perspective on that? Do you see that as a plus or a minus for Impact or for you in general?
I think it's a plus for every company that decides to work with another company. I don't see how that is a negative in any sense or in any way. Like, I think we need more of that. Like, because the way I look at it, in my and I'm always going to be honest. Like, there's only one big league wrestling company in the whole world, and that's WWE. And the way I look at it, if none of us are ever going to be up there next to WWE financially, or no matter how you want to compare it, why don't we work with each other? Because when you work with each other, then yes, we could battle the big guru company, but individually, it's going to be hard to. So I love that Impact is working with AEW, and I hope we start working with Ring of Honor. I hope we start working with other wrestling companies out there. It's only going to be better for the fans, and at the end of the day, the fans win, and that's what it's about.
That's awesome. Are there specific talents from, AEW, New Japan, or even Ring of Honor that you'd be interested in bringing into Impact that hasn't already showed up in Impact lately?
I mean, I'll be down to work with anybody in both rosters. I mean, all every wrestling company have a, amazing wrestlers. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and compare wrestlers with wrestlers, but one thing that each company have is they have guys who could be considered one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I mean, and that's open to so many dream matches for fans. And so yeah, in my case, why not?
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, so we'll go ahead and get one more question, and then we'll get back to the Slammiversary, and we'll let you get out of here. Me and JD were just talking about this right before you came on the air here. So The Rock is starting up the XFL again. Now I know your football days are kind of behind you, but is that something that you have thought about? Maybe because I know back in the day, guys like Leo Nomalini, guys like Wahoo McDaniel, and Big Cat Ernie Ladd, those guys they would play during the regular football season, and then on the off season they would wrestle full time. Is that something that you've ever thought about, and maybe doing it in a smaller league like the XFL?
No, I would never touch a football or do anything that is. I wouldn't say never. I would never play football again, that's for sure. But like maybe a coach, yeah, I could probably do that. Like maybe something with football, being an agent or being a being an assistant coach, or yeah, I could see myself doing something like that. But my playing days, no.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, no, that's great. It's a good closure on a great NFL career that you had. So I guess our final question is, and we just like to open it up. You know, we got Slammiversary. It's coming up. When people hear this, it'll be this Saturday night, July 17th. You can order it on pay-per-view. I like to order it on Fight TV. I'm a Fight TV type of guy. Order it on there. I think it's only $40, and it's going to be a great show. We're actually on this podcast. We're going to go live on YouTube immediately after the show is over to kind of go ahead and do a recap show for everybody. Besides your match and the main event, what else are you looking forward to? And with the winner of the main event, do you assume that you were probably going to be next in line for that title?
I should be next in line for that title, whoever wins, because of how bad I got screwed when I had a title match and I never got a rematch because then I was blindsided by Chris Sabin. So when I deal with Sabin and handle Chris Sabin, I could go back to 100% focusing on the world title. And to answer your question, I'm excited about what surprises that we're gonna have. I already know about a couple,
Ooh.
and they're big, and I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
But
no hints. No hints.
Yeah, no hint. No hint.
no hints at all. You just have to watch the show on the 17th. I know about a couple, and they're definitely big, and I can't wait to see them, and I can't wait for you guys to see them.
Well, we can't either, man. And we really appreciate you taking the time. I know your schedule's busy. You got a big, busy week for Slammiversary this week. So stay healthy, stay shredded, man. Oh, that was the other thing. You are absolutely freaking shredded. Like you've always been in pretty good shape, right? You've always been a top athlete. But what made you shift your focus into just looking like a modern day Lex Luger like you are right now?
Ross Foreman, man, he changed my diet. Ask Ross for the tips.
That's awesome.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
I know Ross is probably popping right now in the back if he's even listening. Oh no, I help from good friends with like EC3 and Tommaso Ciampa, and one of my good friends who I actually work with, AJ Sims, Cement Factory, and yeah, we all work together, and he works with all of us, and that's why you've seen a change in the way we all look, and so thank God for him.
Well, you can't pay that guy enough, man. He's awesome, and I think you guys all look great. JD, you got anything?
Let's wrap it up, man. Sounds good.
Let's wrap it up. Hey, everybody, that's going to do it for us. So we want to thank Moose for the time. We'd like to thank Ross Foreman from Impact Wrestling for setting this whole deal up. Buy Slammiversary, Saturday, July 17th. It starts at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, where I'm at 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Everybody, enjoy the show, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of our stuff, hit that subscribe button. We're adding more video podcasts to our rotation. If you want to hear more content from Fight Game Media, check out the Fight Game Media Network on Patreon. We have podcasts at least 5 days a week and often more, depending on which tier you choose. With Tier 1, you'll get pro wrestling podcasts for $2.99 a month. If you're an MMA or boxing fan, or just want even more pro wrestling audio content, check out our $7.99 a month tier. In that tier, you may even hear AEW rockstar Jon Moxley join us now and again. Also, check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Fight Game Media.